Hello everyone, in this video we're going to talk about noun agreements and superlatives and comparatives. If you don't know what those are, don't worry, we'll cover them. But first, let's begin with noun agreements. Now, the most important thing about noun agreement, it's this little set of rules right here. The nouns must always agree in number. So if you have nouns in a sentence, they have to all be the same number, either plural or singular. You should always identify the entire noun. You should be careful for compound nouns. Don't let them trick you. You should always identify the entire verb just in case to make sure. Let's look at an example. Mike and Bob were inspired to become a teacher when they grew up. This is wrong, and let's figure out why. Let's identify the entire noun. Mike and Bob. It's not just Mike and it's not just Bob, it's Mike and Bob. So it's plural. So be careful for compound nouns. Let's identify the entire verb. Were inspired to become a teacher. That's not the entire verb. That's just a large part of the sentence. But the verb here is were. Now, Mike and Bob, plural, were, plural. Makes sense. Where's the problem here? Can you see the problem in the sentence? Mike and Bob were inspired to become a teacher when they grew up. The problem is this. A teacher. It should not say a teacher because the nouns, as you can see here, they must always agree in number. So if we have plural nouns, plural verb, and the second noun, obviously it must be plural, right? Of course. So the correct thing to say would be Mike and Bob were inspired to become teachers when they grew up. In the exam, whenever you read something and you feel like it doesn't sound right, check the nouns. Check if the nouns are matching up in terms of their number. So again, remember, they must always agree in number. If they don't, that's incorrect. Always identify the entire noun. If you had just looked at Bob and forgotten about Mike, then that would be singular, and that would be wrong. And watch out for compound nouns, and always identify the entire verb just in case. Mike and Bob, plural, were is plural, and a teacher is singular. So we know that that's wrong, because it has to be teachers. Now, let's talk about comparatives and superlatives. Really big words for a simple concept. It's basically comes down to better versus best. So the comparative is used to compare two things. It's an adjective that ends in er. So the car is better than the horse. Okay? Just two things that are being compared, the car and the horse. And one is better than the other. Car A, I have an example here, car A is better than car B. Two things being compared, only two things. This cake tastes better than that cake. Better, this cake tastes better than that cake. Always use better when you have two things. That's called the comparative. We're comparing two things. Now, the superlative is used to compare three or more things, and the adjective will end in est. It doesn't just have to be the adjective best. It could be any adjective. It just has to end in est if you're comparing three or more things. So car A is the fastest car. So we're comparing car A to every other car that's not car A, and we're saying that it's the fastest car. Because adjectives have to end in est if you're comparing three or more things. That cake is the sweetest cake. So we're comparing that cake with every other cake that's ever been made, and we're saying that that cake is the sweetest cake. Obviously, more than 3 cakes have been made, right? So the adjective needs to end in est. And that's the video. Don't forget about noun agreement. It's very important. Again, the rules are just right here. They must always agree in number. You have to identify the entire noun, watch out for compound nouns, and identify the entire verb. And concerning superlatives and comparatives, a comparative is only for two things, and a superlative is for 3 or more things. Anyway, that's the entire video. I hope you liked it. Make sure you understood it. It appears quite frequently on the exam, and best of luck. I'll see you in the next video.